The Valentine she never expected. The fluorescent lights of Marcello's Italian kitchen hummed softly above the dinner rush, casting a warm glow over the white tablecloths and flickering candles. Emma Williams moved between the tables with practiced grace, her ponytail swinging as she refilled water glasses and delivered steaming plates of pasta. It was Valentine's Day, the busiest night of the year, and the restaurant buzzed with the quiet murmur of couples sharing intimate conversations over wine and candlelight. Emma had worked at Marcello's for 3 years now, ever since she'd dropped out of culinary school to care for her aging mother. She knew every table, every regular customer, and every item on the menu by heart. But tonight, she wasn't thinking about the specials or the reservation list. Tonight, she was trying very hard not to think about the fact that she was supposed to be on a date. Her phone buzzed in her apron pocket for the 3rd time that hour. Emma didn't need to check it to know who it was. Brad. The guy from the coffee shop who'd asked her out 2 weeks ago. The guy she'd said yes to in a moment of weakness, when loneliness had felt heavier than usual. The guy she'd been avoiding ever since. She'd tried to cancel. She really had. But every time she started to type the message, her fingers froze. What would she say? That she wasn't ready. That the thought of sitting across from a stranger, making small talk and pretending to be someone she wasn't, made her chest tight with anxiety. That ever since her mother passed away 6 months ago, she'd felt like a shadow of herself, going through the motions of life without really living it. So instead, she'd done what she always did when things got uncomfortable. She'd picked up an extra shift. "Table 7 needs their check," called Maria, the hostess, pulling Emma from her thoughts. Emma nodded and headed toward the kitchen, grateful for the distraction. As she pushed through the swinging doors, she nearly collided with Chef Marcello himself, a stout Italian man with flour on his apron and a permanent scowl that hid a heart of gold. "Careful, Emma," he said, steadying her with one hand. "You okay tonight? You seem distant." "I'm fine, Chef," Emma said, forcing a smile. "Just busy." He studied her for a moment, his dark eyes knowing, but he didn't press. "Table 12 needs attention. The man there, he asked for you specifically." Emma frowned. She didn't remember any regulars at table 12. "Did he give a name?" "No, but he has a little girl with him. Maybe 7, 8 years old. She spilled her water and she's upset. I thought you might handle it well." Emma's expression softened. Children she could handle. It was adults and their expectations that terrified her. She grabbed a fresh pitcher of water and a handful of napkins, then made her way back to the dining room. Table 12 sat in the corner, slightly removed from the romantic chaos of the main floor, a man in a navy blue. Henley sat across from a small girl in a pink dress, who was indeed crying softly, while he patted her hand and spoke in low, soothing tones. "Hi there," Emma said gently, approaching the table. "I heard we had a little accident." "Don't worry, it happens all the time." The girl looked up, her brown eyes shimmering with tears. "I ruined everything," she whispered. "Daddy said this was supposed to be special." "Hey, no way," Emma said, kneeling beside the table so she was eye level with the child. "You know what? The best nights always have a little bit of chaos. That's what makes them memorable." She began mopping up the water with the napkins, her movements calm and unhurried. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Lily," the girl said, sniffling. "That's a beautiful name." "I'm Emma." She glanced up at the father and felt her breath catch slightly. He was handsome, yes, but it was more than that. There was a kindness in his eyes, a gentle exhaustion, that spoke of sleepless nights and endless worry, the kind of look she'd seen in her own mirror for months. "Thank you," he said, and his voice was warm like honey. "I'm Nathan." "Nathan Cross. We're celebrating Lily's birthday. She turns 8 tomorrow, but I work a double shift. So tonight was our only option." "On Valentine's Day," Emma said, understanding dawning. "That must be special, having your birthday on Valentine's Day." Lily nodded, a small smile breaking through. "Daddy says I'm his forever Valentine." Emma felt something twist in her chest, something that had been frozen for months beginning to thaw. "Well then, we need to make this extra special," she said, standing up. "Give me just a few minutes, okay?" She didn't wait for an answer before hurrying back to the kitchen, Chef Marcello looked up from the stove as she entered. "Chef, table 12. It's a little girl's birthday. Can we do something special? Maybe a dessert with a candle?" Marcello's scowl deepened, but Emma could see the corner of his mouth twitching. "You have a soft heart, Emma. It will get you in trouble one day." "Is that a yes?" He sighed dramatically. "I'll make her my special tiramisu, but you tell her it's because she has a good waitress. Not because I'm getting soft in my old age." Emma grinned, the first genuine smile she'd felt all day. "Thank you, Chef." 20 minutes later, she returned to table 12 with the tiramisu, a single candle flickering on top. The other servers followed her lead, gathering around to sing happy birthday, while Lily's face lit up like the candles on her cake. Nathan watched his daughter with such pure love that Emma had to look away, blinking back unexpected tears. When the song ended and Lily blew out her candle, the whole restaurant applauded. "Make a wish, sweetheart," Nathan asked. Lily nodded solemnly, but her eyes drifted to Emma. "I wish that nice people don't have to be sad anymore." The words hit Emma like a punch to the stomach. She must have let something show on her face, some crack in the armor she wore so carefully, because Nathan was looking at her with concern now. "Are you okay?" he asked quietly while Lily dug into her dessert. Emma opened her mouth to say yes, to deflect like she always did. But something stopped her. Maybe it was the gentleness in his voice. Maybe it was the fact that he was a stranger, and strangers were sometimes easier to be honest with. Maybe it was just that she was so tired of pretending. "Not really," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I'm working on it." Nathan nodded slowly. "Me too," he said. "Lily's mom passed away 2 years ago. Cancer. Some days are harder than others." "I am so sorry," Emma said, and meant it. "I lost my mom 6 months ago. She had Alzheimer's. By the end, she didn't remember who I was." They looked at each other for a long moment. Two people who understood the particular weight of grief, the way it could make you feel like you were drowning even in a crowded room. "You know what helps?" Nathan said finally. "Showing up anyway. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard." Emma felt her phone buzz again in her pocket. Brad probably wondering where she was. She pulled it out, glanced at the screen, and then looked back at Nathan and Lily, still working on her birthday dessert with chocolate on her nose. "Excuse me for just a second," Emma said. She stepped into the back hallway and opened her messages. But instead of making an excuse to Brad, she found herself typing something different. "I'm sorry, but I can't make it tonight. I'm not ready for this yet. I hope you understand. Take care." She hit send before she could second-guess herself, then returned to the table. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. Emma checked on table 12 more than she needed to, bringing Lily extra whipped cream and refilling Nathan's coffee without being asked. They talked in small bursts between her other tables, sharing stories about their loved ones, about the strange journey of grief, about the small moments of joy that made it all worthwhile. When they finally asked for their check, Nathan handed her his credit card along with a napkin. "I know this might be forward," he said, "but Lily and I are going to the aquarium next Saturday. She loves the penguins. If you're free, we'd love the company. No pressure, no expectations. Just two people who understand, taking things slow." Emma unfolded the napkin. His phone number was written in neat handwriting, along with a simple message. Sometimes the best dates are the ones that don't feel like dates at all. She looked up at him, at his kind eyes and hopeful smile, and then at Lily, who was waving goodbye with chocolate still on her face. "I'd like that," Emma heard herself say. "I really would." After they left, Emma leaned against the wall and took a deep breath. The restaurant was still full of couples celebrating Valentine's Day, but she didn't feel alone anymore. She'd spent months avoiding life, avoiding connection, avoiding the possibility of being hurt again. But maybe Nathan was right. Maybe the answer wasn't avoiding the hard things. Maybe it was showing up anyway, even when you were scared. Especially when you were scared. Her phone buzzed one last time. Brad had responded, "I understand. Good luck with everything." Emma smiled and deleted the message. Then she tucked Nathan's napkin carefully into her pocket and went back to work, her steps a little lighter than before. Sometimes the best things in life happen when you stop running from them, and sometimes the most beautiful love stories begin not with romance, but with two broken people choosing to be brave enough to heal together. Outside, the February snow began to fall, soft and gentle, blanketing the city in white. Inside Marcello's Italian kitchen, Emma Williams served her last table of the night and thought about penguins, and second chances, and the quiet courage it takes to try again.